What's poppin', guys? Welcome back to Sam Talk Sports. Yes, after a 7-month hiatus, I am back, ready to talk more sports with you guys. I apologize for disappearing the past 7 months, but I'm back. And what really inspired me to come back today is because it's August 20th. You got the Usyk versus Joshua fight. It's literally happening in like 30 minutes. That's why I'm like, I gotta make my predictions. I gotta just post this video and get the ball rolling. And then we got UFC 278 tonight, so lots of sports videos coming your way. Alright, let's dive right into the Usyk Joshua 2 fight. Man, this is such a huge fight for boxing, especially the heavyweight division. I would like to preface by saying my heart wants Joshua to win, because I think that Joshua versus Tyson Fury match would be a gigantic, maybe one of the biggest boxing matches in the world. And Usyk, he is so skilled, and I think if you could see here, right here on the screen, Usyk is favored for this match, and I'm not surprised at all. He's a negative 210 favorite, and Anthony Joshua is at plus 175. And let's kind of break down what I will feel like will happen in this matchup. So basically, if you look at Usyk, 19 fights, perfect record, 19 wins, no losses, 13 knockouts, 6 by decision. And I have been really impressed by Usyk throughout his career, because he was, fighting at cruiserweight. He won all the belts, all the titles, and now he is challenging. Technically, he wanted to challenge himself more, so he moved to the heavyweight division, and he beat AJ, who is one of the best heavyweight boxers in the world. I think he has been in like 12 consecutive heavyweight title matches. So for Usyk to come in here to the heavyweight division, he beat Witherspoon, Chisora, and then his third fight he is facing AJ, an experienced heavyweight boxer, and he was able to really show his skills, maintain his distance in the first matchup. And if you look at Anthony Joshua, AJ is such an entertaining fighter, in his 26 fights, 24 wins, 2 losses, and he has 22 knockouts in the 24 wins. So AJ has power, his punches are real intense. So I think for Usyk, how he found success in the first match was he maintained the distance, he had great footwork, so AJ wasn't able to really land any power shots or hurt Usyk. And if we look at AJ's 2 losses, the first one was to Andy Ruiz, and he came back strong. He was a lot more motivated, and I felt like he had a better game plan. And Andy Ruiz, obviously, he gained more weight. I feel like he didn't prepare as well as he could have. But for Usyk in this situation, I think Usyk is going to be even more prepared, even more experienced in the second fight. And so I think it's going to be completely different from the Andy Ruiz fight for AJ, because he's going to be facing a much better prepared, better conditioned Usyk. And let's take a look at the punch stats. Shout out to Boxing Scene for these stats. But Usyk outlanded Joshua 7-5 in 7 out of the 12 rounds. And if you look at the final punch stats, it may seem like the fight was quite close, because Joshua landed 123 punches, Usyk 148. So it didn't seem like that big of a discrepancy. But if you actually watch the fight, you could see that Usyk was landing more of the power shots, he was doing more damage, and he almost stopped AJ, in the latter 2 rounds. And it was very surprising for me to see that Usyk has maintained a similar weight for his rematch with AJ, because I felt like strategy is really important, especially in the heavyweight division, because there really is no limit on how heavy you can go. And I think for Usyk to maintain that same weight as the first fight, it's a good strategic decision by him, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's nimble, he has the reach, he can move around very lightly like a cruiserweight, even though he's in the heavyweight division. And Joshua, he came in at 244.5 pounds, which is a little bit heavier than the first fight. So in terms of this match, I feel like, given that AJ is now with a new trainer, Robert Garcia, we're going to see a completely new AJ in the sense of his strategy and his approach to this match. I felt like in the first match between Usyk and AJ was trying to outbox Usyk. He wasn't really I felt like he wasn't able to, but he also didn't really plan in his head in terms of his game plan to try to land more power shots and hurt Usyk. I think his approach was more reserved and then pick his shots. But I think with Robert Garcia and AJ, this new, combo, I feel like for AJ to win this match, he has to be a lot more aggressive. He has to not be afraid of taking a couple punches from Usyk. He has to kind of go on the offensive, especially in the first few rounds. And because, like I mentioned before, AJ has 22 knockouts in 24 fights, into his 24 wins. So AJ, if he can hurt Usyk, then I think he has the upper hand. But like I said before, Usyk is a very technical fighter, skilled fighter. I think he's really great at ducking out of, trouble and still land his shots to gain points, to get the amount of punches, outpunch his opponents to get the win. And obviously Usyk isn't as strong of a puncher as AJ. And so if you look at the odds, like I mentioned before, it's not surprising at all for Usyk to have a better odds. But I think in terms of this fight, how it will go is AJ is going to be a lot more aggressive in the earlier rounds, and it's going to be very important for him to, win these early rounds. But I think Usyk won't really get hurt to the point of being at risk of a KO or a TKO. And I think throughout the middle rounds, Usyk is going to gain more steam, AJ is going to tire out a little bit, and Usyk is going to be very, very, calculated. And it's going to be quite a similar fight to the first one for Usyk in terms of the game plan. He's going to not try to KO AJ. I think he's going to just try to win more rounds than AJ. And so even though my heart is with AJ, I really want him to win, to set up that Fury versus AJ match that would, be one of the biggest fights in the world. But in my mind, I got Usyk winning this second matchup in a similar fashion in the first matchup by UD. AJ will be more aggressive, will try to land his power shots, will try to KO Usyk, but I think Usyk is on another level in terms of his boxing skills, and he's going to outbox AJ, and I don't think AJ's power shots will land enough for Usyk to be in major trouble. So that's my thoughts on this matchup. I got Usyk by UD, and I think it's going to be like a 7-5, 8-4 maybe, but most likely it's going to be a close matchup, and I think Usyk will outpoint Joshua in the end. With that being said, I can't wait. I'm super pumped to watch this boxing match. I mean, as a sports fan, these are the moments, these are the games, these are the matches that you look forward to the most. And yeah, let's enjoy this match, and I will talk to you guys next time. Peace.